the largest ever missile attack on Israel. 180 plus ballistic missiles and hypersonic missiles fired by Iran, targeting the Mossad headquarters and crucial air bases where fighter jets were used to target Hassan Nasrallah, the killed chief of Hezbollah, and the strongholds of Hezbollah in Lebanon. Each target very carefully chosen by Iran. Both Israel and the United States have called the missile attack a spectacular failure. Israel insisting there were no losses on ground except one Palestinian man in West Bank being killed when the debris of a destroyed missile fell on him. Iran, on the other hand, says the losses in Israel were massive, including fighter jets. Israel has denied, the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, they've denied there were any losses to any aircraft on ground. But what were some of these missiles that were used by Iran? Some of the analysts who've studied not just the trajectory of the missiles, but also speaking to experts in Iran, say the Shahab-3 ballistic missile, a medium-range ballistic missile, was the mainstay of that attack. And Shahab-3 is a ballistic missile capable of carrying a warhead of between 750 kgs to about 1000 kgs plus. It can be fired from silos and from mobile launchers. It has an accuracy, Iran claims, of 300 meters. The impact zone, the kill zone, is tremendous. It has a range of between 1200 and 1400 kilometers. So Israel was in the line of Shahab-3 fire, but that wasn't the only missile fired. Media in Iran, they've been showing the impact of a certain missile in Israel, and that is Fatah-1. Fatah-1 is a hypersonic missile. It's a new missile used by Iran, and some analysts have argued, and it does appear, according to some of these analysts, that it's unlikely that Fatah-1 would have been used, but a hypersonic missile indeed was used. What does hypersonic mean? The speed, Mach 5, which means 5 times the speed of sound, boasts of a speed of over 6,000 kilometers per hour. Very, very effective Fatah-1, and Fatah-2 known as the Conqueror. Again, something that's being talked about, that Fatah-2 with a range of about 1500 kilometers, but speeds virtually unstoppable. Iran boasts of speeds of 14 to 15 Mach. 15 times the speed of sound is the claim of Iran. Of course, they've also been using the Imad systems or the modified Gadr missile systems. They've been using these very extensively, but in this time, this was for impact, for effect, and to send across a message. Iran has also put out visuals of their generals, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps generals, celebrating, taking instructions from the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and then conveying the kills or the successes of the missile, and those videos are going absolutely viral across Iran. There were celebrations on the streets of Iran after these missile hits. Iran's president, Pezeshkian, has also warned Israel, do not retaliate, or the consequences in the next barrage would be even worse. There are some analysts who say that if about 180 to 200 missiles were used in the barrage or the attack that took place yesterday, Iran boasts of a ballistic missile arsenal of over 3,000 missiles, and that's Iran's big boast, that in case there's a retaliation from Israel, the response would even be more punitive. But what would Israel's response be? Naftali Bennett, former Prime Minister of Israel, has made it very clear that this is once in a 50-year opportunity that Israel has to take out Iran's nuclear infrastructure and ensure that Iran does not become a nuclear weapons state. Israel has in the past decades taken out several nuclear scientists in Iran, and very effectively, whether it's been in car bombs or targeted assassinations or any other way. The penetration of Mossad and Israel's agencies in Iran have been tremendous. The killing of Ismail Haniyeh at the swearing in of President Pezeshkian, and that too in the presidential complex, just goes on to show how effective Mossad has been. Of course, Israel never officially confirmed that they were behind the killing of Ismail Haniyeh, but the fact does remain. Ismail Haniyeh was killed in Tehran, and that was a major setback for Iran. The killing of Hassan Nasrallah in his bunker, in his underground bunker, the pager attacks killing the tactical leadership of Hezbollah, the series of airstrikes, those that continue even today, it go on to show how strong Israel's response against Iran's proxies, whether it's Hamas or Hezbollah, has been so far. And that is why it was imperative for Iran to strike. The question remains, how will Israel strike back? Will it take out the nuclear infrastructure? Will it target the oil infrastructure, the mainstay of Iran's economy, and as some analysts in Israel say, bring Iran to its knees, or neutralize the leadership, whether it is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and can Israel actually do that? Are they emboldened after the killing of Ismail Haniyeh? Can they take out the leadership of Iran, or even the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps leadership? Is that what Israel intends to do to ensure there's a regime change? Remember the manner in which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the people of Iran directly, that indicating that their freedom from this regime is near. Is that the effort? What will President Pezeshkian do, apart from, of course, warning Israel of consequences? What will this response be? Now, when you talk about Israel's defenses, both the United States and Israel have said that there were minimal damages, almost no damages on ground in this missile strike. And if this was an exemplary missile strike and there were no losses or no tangible losses to Israel, is this a major face loss for Iran? It may celebrate, the optics may be good, but what was the impact of the optics, and will this then embolden Israel to strike back and strike back hard, given Israel has been boasting of how good its missile defense shield is? And it's not just the Iron Dome, that's one layer of a multi-tiered missile defense system. So you have the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome protects the vital assets and vital points and also citizens of Israel from an incoming threat at a distance of about 50 to 70 kilometers. That's the immediate line of defense, a short-range missile defense system. Then you go to David's Sling. David's Sling defends Israel from missiles at a longer range, between 150 to 300 kilometers, even longer, and can also take down an incoming cruise missile. It can take down an incoming unmanned combat aerial vehicle, or even a fighter jet, or any other aerial threat that comes Israel's way. Cruise missiles can be taken down. But then beyond the David Sling, you also have the Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 systems that can take down ballistic missiles at even longer ranges. Remember, Israel also has the Patriot system. You'd recall from the 1991 Gulf War, when Saddam Hussein's army, the Iraq army, would fire those Scud missiles. You had the Patriot missile system that would immediately get activated and take down those Scuds. So apart from the Iron Dome, the David Sling, the Arrow 2, the Arrow 3, Patriot, it's almost like a third system, Israel says even better, that they have. Plus, you have the fighter jets, US Air Force fighter jets and Israeli Air Force fighter jets. They were in the sky when these missiles were being fired from Iran. Remember, they had American intelligence had a warning, and they warned Israel, and that warning was very public when they said that Iran is preparing the ballistic missiles for launch. Israel had its fighter jets in the sky. So just as those missiles were getting launched, whether it was in the Israeli Air Force or the American Air Force or the air defense system of the Americans, their destroyers, they took down some of the incoming threat far away from Israel. So look at the multi-tiered system. You have the fighter jets, you have the US Navy destroyers, you then have the Arrow systems, then you have the David Sling, and then of course you have the Iron Dome system. That is what Israel boasts of, a multi-tiered missile defense shield, and of course people who were warned well in time to stay as close to their bomb shelters as possible. It's virtually a way of life in Israel. It disrupts their life, no doubt, but it keeps them alive to live to fight another day.